DarkNinja landing at one of his favorite locations, which is Doghouse. We've seen him land here like 3 times in the past 6 games, perhaps. It is a really good location to land in, and it is one of those things where you want to land at a location you're used to, because you'll know routes better, you'll know how to optimize better, you'll know your ins and outs and how to maneuver and recover from bad situations a lot better if you're used to that environment. Something right here, he knows another player's pushing towards him. He's maneuvering in this attic really well, making time for the shield pot. Pops out at the right time. The other player was thinking that he was going to go ahead and finish off the shield pot. He decided to go ahead and take matters in his own hands and landed those shots really cleanly. Barely took any damage. He's going to go ahead and maybe finish off the medkit, decides against it. Something I would probably do as well. He can survive a body shot from the bolt action sniper right now. And he can survive a lot of other shooting options as well as a sticky to the body if somebody lands a random sticky, which does 100 damage. So he's feeling a little good right now, health-wise. That 17 HP will help, but that's the only recovery option he has left, is that one medkit. And considering the fact that medkits can give you full 100 HP, using it for just 17 when it's the only option you have left for recovery, typically you'll see people go ahead and choose to keep those, like Dark is. Dark's going ahead and get some mats up. He really wants to have the ability to be able to build a high ground, etc. if needed. Really have good options. A lot of players, especially when they start out, typically will not optimize material gain in the early game. So a lot of times when you're playing against enemy players in another game, if you just build standardly, you'll almost always have an advantage over them, landing really good shots. Dark was able to land on a Scar at the start of this game, and Scars at that range are brutal. They do so much damage with being very accurate for what they are compared to anything else in the meta, in the game, really, for any other guns. Finds on the medkit, very lucky. He actually might, now that he has an extra medkit, there's a chance he might find cover in a little bit and go ahead and top off that 17 HP. That would be a player choice. You won't really blame somebody for continuing to hold on to those medkits, but oftentimes you'll see people go ahead and use up one of their 2 medkits, considering they will have another recovery option later, and you'll be able to go ahead and get every HP counting, essentially. Try and find another player. Heard them. High ground, shotgun, instantly switching to the AR and finishing off the fight. Very clean there by DarkNinja. Lands a really nice shot from the pump shotgun. It's a blue rarity, so it does pretty good amount of damage. And then instantly, without hesitation, a lot of people, after they land a shot, they'll see if their shot did damage or not first. But Dark, seasoned, experienced, he thought to himself, you know what? After I shoot this pump shotgun shot, it does not matter if I land the shot or not. I need to instantly switch over and do more damage, because there's highly unlikely chance that I'll be able to one-shot this player, considering the nerfs to shotguns recently. Very clean. Going ahead and get a lot more mats. Short for materials. He's sitting pretty good. Hasn't really taken any damage from those recent fights. 5 damage from perhaps a shotgun spray at long range. Pellets do basically no damage to the range to kill that first guy near the soccer field. Or maybe like a SMG shot at range and only 1 bolt hit the body. Not quite sure what did the 5 damage there. If I were to guess, most likely the shotgun shot at range. But then after that, the next player near that blue L house, the big blue house there, really clean. Dismantled that player. Got an angle fast. Faster than the other player was prepared for. Nearly to the maximum amount of wood. So pretty soon you'll probably see Dark either start farming for metal, or just go ahead and roam from this location. 999 is the maximum you can hold for mats. Wood is the best option for aggressive players. That has the highest base HP and the fastest build rate to full HP. Though they don't have the highest full HP, which would be metal. Metal being the lowest base HP when placed and the slowest build rate. Brick being in the middle for both categories, or all 3 categories, I should say. So aggressive players you'll typically see prioritize wood usage. Wood is also the most commonly found material. And then brick after that, metal finally. Passive players who typically play the strategy on the zone a lot more, play the waiting game a little bit more, play the safer game, will typically use a lot more metal because they'll have time to build up their fort and it'll be more durable after being built. Dark sitting pretty good on ammo count here, has 2 utility items. It's actually something that's a little bit of a Dark Ninja specialty. You'll see a lot of players, especially in the current meta, don't really use utility items such as boogie bombs like Dark has in his inventory, or impulse grenades, something of that sort. Boogie bombs, what they do is if you land it on an enemy player, for about 7 seconds, they'll be unable to shoot back, they will be unable to build, they'll be unable to sprint. All they do is in a jogging speed, which is basically running without using a sprint key. With a jogging speed, they'll be just dancing, kind of like what you do at this disco right here. So it's a little bit of a silly mechanic. Dark trying to jump through this doorway here, something out of like a Super Mario Brothers you might find. But it's a mechanic that is really good if you can land the boogie bomb, but it's not the easiest to land the boogie bomb. Like I said before, after he goes ahead and finds some cover, gets in the next zone, find a really safe spot. He's very secure right here. I'm gonna go ahead and use up one of his last 2 med kits here. Top off. He also found another med kit, so very smart, safe decision here. He's got 2 like he did before anyway, and now he's topped off to 145 total effective HP. But the boogie bomb, if you miss it, it does nothing, and it doesn't go through walls, so it's very hard to land on enemy player. A lot of times when you try using it, a lot of times when you throw it, you'll get shot in response real quick by the enemy player before the boogie bomb impacts. So you'll see a lot of times players don't really use utility stuff like the boogie bombs. Impulse grenades were nerfed a bit. So you'll not really see that often, but Dark Ninja loves it. He uses these all the time. It's one of his favorite things to do in the game is to land that boogie bomb and then take his time and really get that pump shotgun shot off to the head, and or really be able to find a top control, use that time to be able to build on top of the other player, gain some proper cover. Getting shot at by another player immediately after finding a chug jug, luckily. Using that boogie bomb, look at that, he's dancing right out, lands his shot, takes his time, might use another boogie bomb, we'll see. Now, he knows the other player is really weak, so he's just, all he needs to do is just get a nice, clean body shot off with that pump shotgun. So right there, you saw it. Lands that boogie bomb. Other player is basically defenseless, just kind of dancing around exposed. He took his time because he knows he has a window of opportunity that's fairly large. Took his time to really make sure he gets that clean pump shotgun shot off. Immediately after, swap to his AR, just like before. He knows he's probably going to need to get more damage off because shotguns were nerfed, especially the pumps. Got a good amount of damage. The other player was starting to recover a little bit, starting to use that tree and such for cover. So Dark decided to play a little bit safer again, build more cover again, reset the situation, found an opportunity where the player was running around the side, not building cover again, completely exposed, and just got a really nice, clean pump shotgun shot off, center mass to the body to get that more secure damage off to finish the kill. Roaming into Tilde here, one of the most populated locations in the game. Hearing some shots, seeing some commotion. Got a nice and clean headshot. You love to see that. Oh, baby. And finds a heavy shotgun. Probably replace the pump with it. Beautiful. Heavy shotguns in the current meta are better than pumps. They do better consistent damage at longer ranges than pump shotguns do. And they have a higher fire rate. So it's just one of those things where there's no reason to really go with a pump shotgun over heavy shotgun in the current meta. Finding minis. He's an aggressive player. Minis are better than medkits for aggressive players. Oh man, I'm still feeling that shot. That person wasn't aware of Dark's existence, so you could say it's a really easy shot, but because that was a really awkward angle and it was very fast that he landed that shot and lined it up, oh man, that still was very satisfying to see. Went ahead and dropped, trying to get the snipe off, just barely overshoots it a little bit above that enemy's head. He took a shot or two there to really try to get that shot off there. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him. At that range, the AR shots do a lot less damage. So you can more safely take your time to get a snipe off that would have one shot if it landed, while you barely take any damage in return. So it's a risk that has a really high reward with a low risk there. Unfortunately, he just took all the risk and didn't get any of the reward, but then found a shield pot. So luckily enough, it's all as if nothing really ever happened. He's looking okay right there. But again, medkits are better for passive players, players that can take fall damage from their buildings a lot more, might take damage from zones a lot more. Trying to figure out how to do this edit. It's a little bit of an awkward position that wall is placed, so it's a little bit hard to figure out exactly how you need to edit to get out of there. But yeah, the minis, you do take shield damage first from any gunfire from fights. So typically you'll need to use those minis before you need to use the med kits if you're an aggressive player getting in fights more often. Try and land these really nice shots in. We probably could have gotten another shot off with a sniper, but decided to just go ahead and switch to the AR. Lands a nice headshot to finish off those other previously well-placed body shots. Gets the kill there. Unfortunately loses some of his shielding there, so he's back down to 165 HP effectively. But he's going to go ahead and roam. The zone's coming. Using the bounce pad to clear the distance faster. Checking out these surroundings. C4 was recently buffed, so we went and dropped the 1 boogie bomb for the 4 C4. There's more items to be useful. If it was only 1 or 2 C4, he might have still gone with C4 because it's so good. DarkNinja getting a little distracted by the support of another Twitch user there. But the C4 was buffed pretty significantly recently. It still does not a tremendous amount of damage, but it does a lot wider area of effect worth of damage and a lot more structure damage. It's so good for destroying enemy structures, especially to deal with people who are camping in 1x1s, similar to the might be a player camping the 1x1 up there. Dark exposed himself to that position. Probably assumes that if somebody was up there, they probably would have shot him at already. Using that C4, like I said, destroys that structure instantly. Go ahead and check if somebody was in there. Using these mushrooms as well. These mushrooms give you 5 shields each. Lands such a good shot right there. Dark is feeling it right now with these snipes. That player is a quick scope essentially. And that player was in the blue, a little obstructed, a little hard to see. And they were jumping, so it was an in-air player. Hard to really land that shot, and he does it so quickly, so precisely. Great job there. Again, he doesn't have any healing options. So if he walks in that storm, even for a moment, he's going to take damage that really isn't necessary. So he just kind of looted what was on the outskirts, went ahead and decided that the rest of the loot in there was not worth the damage taken, potentially. Wow, really good snipes by Dark. He's typically a very aggressive player, really enjoys using shotguns and ARs. He really enjoys using bounce pads, jump pads. Typically will carry the shielding options for reasons I explained earlier. Very good at using building aggressively and to maintain top control in shotgun fights, etc. Really quick editor generally. But every once in a while he mixes up a little bit, keep things a little unique. Keep his skills up for any situation they might run into should he find himself in some kind of professional environment or tournament. Takes a little bit of fall damage there. He does have a campfire. He'll probably just go ahead and use it to top off here. No real reason not to. You're in top 10. You don't know where other players are. You're right next to the next zone. No rush. Let's go ahead and top off. Every HP really counts. And he does have another campfire as well for later if needed. He's kind of just regaining himself, getting his mental composure right here. He kind of fell off that mountain right there, made a little bit of a misstep. So he's just kind of getting his confidence back, getting the positive way of thinking back. It's actually a big deal for a lot of players, especially competitive. If you have a positive way of thinking, positive mindset, get that confidence going, you'll typically perform better than if you have a negative mindset, if you have a doubtful mindset, a mindset where you're second guessing yourself, hesitating. So just doing some emotes there while he has the free time, hang out with chat. It's a really good tool of getting yourself back in the game, getting yourself back into positive energy. He's marking off the 2 mountains that are largely going to be within the next safe zone. When you get close to the end game like this, high mountains like these are prime real estate. Like he used a C4 to knock down that structure earlier, you cannot use C4 or anything else to knock down these mountains. So if you're on the high ground right here, if you have that top control, you have the bird's eye view, you have the cover advantage over enemy players. You cannot be brought down from that high ground on the mountain. Only thing the other players can do is snipe you from down low with a really well-placed snipe, which is very difficult, or to push up on top of the mountain, similar to how Dark is doing right now. Dark really wants to claim his high ground for himself, expecting there's probably a player up here, which is why he's crouching half the way up. If you're crouching, it really suppresses your footsteps, so it makes it highly less likely that somebody's going to hear you coming up to them. Not only that, but if somebody's trying to snipe you who is just watching the side of the mountain there, then it would be make it really hard for them to really line up that shot. get the headshot. Try and get a headshot here. Lands it. That other player was peeking out just a little bit too much. Hope We Happy Gaming thought they were safe, but peeked out their head just slightly too much. A little bit more exposed than they probably thought. Dark quickly checking to see if there's traps in this 1x1. He's going ahead and place those barricades up there so he doesn't get sniped in the head, much like Happy just did. He's using his third-person peeking capability, so while he's using that shield pot, he's observing the location out there. See, there's another player out there, knows where he is. Try to get a really quick snipe off. After every snipe, he's just going to go check his surroundings just in case somebody's coming nearby. That was a little bit of a risky maneuver. There could have been a trap down there. He wouldn't really have known. Though, statistically, it's extremely unlikely that it would have been there. Dark's just trying to create his own building here. You can only edit building that you create yourself. As you can see here, he could not edit the building that the other player placed. That's why he replaced the structures with his own materials. So now you can use edit peaks like this. You can very clearly see through there to really see what the other player is doing. He gets ready for the snipe, takes it, just barely misses the snipe. Oh, that was incredibly close. That's a strategy a lot of people use, is they'll just try to edit peek one block in the middle of a wall, get ready for the snipe, prepare themselves mentally. In the moment another player exposes themselves, they finish the edit, leave that window there, and go ahead and take that snipe. The other player is pushing out a little bit. This player is demonstrating a lot of patience. This might be a really tough fight for Dark to take, especially at these ranges here. The player launches themselves with a bounce pad, leaving themselves completely exposed. Dark landing a headshot at that range, instantly killing him. What a turn of events. That player is playing very passively, very conservative, knows where Dark is sniping, but then just uses a bounce pad and then leaves themselves completely exposed out in the field there. They did have to move for the next zone. Dark was kind of preparing for it. They probably just didn't expect that Dark would be able to land such a well-placed headshot there with that bolt action sniper. No matter how much shielding and HP you have there, you die if that bolt action sniper headshot lands. Great patience there by Dark. Really did a good job there landing that shot too. And now he has a good feeling. Nobody else is on top of that mountain he was on. He's going to go ahead and roam. He's a very aggressive player. He really likes looking for kills. Kills matter a lot to him. Almost lands that body shot, following up with the AR shots, just like before. It's good to do so. There's actually two people completely distracted. Using the C4 to explode one player. Using shotgun, consistent damage at range, even though it might not be much. Switching away from the heavy shotgun might not be advisable here, but he's really feeling his AR shots. Cleans up both kills. Great job by Dark maintaining the high control. The top control there, height advantage. Double-digit kills here. Like we'll see commonly with DarkNinja, a lot of these times, outside of a competitive environment, if he's just playing to keep up his skills for high-speed gameplay, he enjoys being a very aggressive player. Commonly, we'll find him with double-digit kills, even in losses. Top 3 situation here. This is definitely looking to be Dark's game to lose. We'll see if he'll actually be able to get to the 13 kills, clean up the last 2 kills in the lobby. He's just checking around. He doesn't really know where the last players are. Honestly, in this kind of environment, they could be hiding behind any of these cliff sides. They could be hiding behind any of these trees, inside any of these bushes. It's extremely difficult to really find where the last players are. The next zone is not going to be favorable to that top mountain. So while there is a possibility somebody is up there right now, they're at least playing very passively if they are. They're not being very aggressive. Nobody in this lobby currently is roaming, so this is a tell. A lot of times you'll see people with bluffs of tells to be aggressive. You can call the bluffs, whatever it may be. You can kind of just observe how the lobby is handling environments like this. So what it seems like is the last 2 remaining players are very passive. Usually meaning in this situation, not really taking advantage of any kind of high ground or anything of that sort. Usually means that they're not the most skilled players. You never can be too cocky, can never be too safe. So you don't want to just assume they're going to be really bad players and then get caught off guard. So he's always ready with his building, with his ramps. He's still jumping while running around because he makes himself a moving target. Makes it harder for somebody to shoot him. This mountain is not really in the next zone. Messed up his building a little bit there, but he recovers. He's not under pressure. He's fine. finds one of the remaining players who's actually shooting the final last player, going to use a jump pad to clear the distance really fast. You do not take damage from falling with a jump pad there, a bounce pad, I should say. Clear that guy really fast, using that C4 to spam it. Try to get a kill off of it, at least expose them, clean up one of the kills, gets a lot of damage on the other, finishes off the final player, gets all 13 kills. There you have it. Like I said, very good as a player, very good with the shots, cleaned up all the kills in the lobby. 13 kills from DarkNinja, beautiful showing from him, getting yet another victory under his belt here.